Action. Okay, this meeting is for the 9 and 10-year-old meeting. Thank you guys for coming out. It is very cold on a beautiful, sunny, at least winter day. We're almost into the new year. For those who can't be here, you get to watch on video. Also for those I haven't met yet, new recruits, and all the rest, you at least get to see what the 9-10 experience is going to look like as we go into spring 2020, as we enter 2020. I decided to include this picture, not at all relevant for you guys, because you look and you go, I think those people are a lot older than us. That's not our team, and that's accurate. This is a group that I talked to you guys a little bit about it in summer camp last year. For those who were there, some of the players, I went to Alaska with our senior class group. So this group, which is the Berkovich 35 honors group, represents the major league team of Head First. So it's unique because each organization, what's relevant to them is kind of their age level, but it's also good to understand that there's a lot more going on within Head First than just 9 and 10-year-olds or even just 11-year-olds. So it's a place where, conversely, for these guys, it's important for me that they know that we go 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, all the way down to 9s and even some 8-year-olds. And then what we do, so not only do we have a linear organization, but we also have multiple teams in each division. Important for me that you guys know that, because sometimes you can think, I think they haven't done this before, or they're doing it for the first time, or I have an idea that seems intuitively like it could work. Chances are we've thought of it, we tried to implement it, we thought it was a good idea too, and it just didn't work, despite our best efforts. Still though, this is a group that we have in Alaska last summer, representing the major league group. The next slide, also not super relevant to you guys. These are the two that aren't really relevant. If you notice, this is the term UD. UD represents upper division, so that's ninth and on. You guys are part of the LD, which is the lower division, not implying quality, just implying age. So this is something that I shared in the upper division meetings, and I thought, you know what, it's good for younger groups still to know about the organization, because how else would you know? Last year in 2019, we had 18U teams in the past. Then we decided not to have them for a couple of years. We brought them back last year. That was the team that you just saw. In the college commits from the 2019 grad class, we had 30 plus players go on to play college baseball from our organization alone. 15 of whom went to 4 years, and 15 plus guys went to junior colleges. A staggering number from one class. We also created the Berkovich 35, which was our Berkovich 35 collegiate team. That was one of the 18-year-old teams, and they went to Alaska. Again, they played for 6 days in Fairbanks, Alaska. Who can guess what the weather's like in Fairbanks, Alaska right now? Finnegan. The first word is minus. Riley. I think it's negative 25. It's still dark there until 11 a.m., in which case it's light until 3:45, so there's 4 hours of sunlight, but during that time the high is like negative 20. So a whole different world. Of course, that's the winter time. It's the opposite in the summertime, where we had 20 hours of sunlight, and we're trying to create unique experiences like that throughout the organization that are once-in-a-lifetime opportunities. And then we're going, okay, that's obviously a very unique opportunity. So what is the equivalent that a 10-year-old can do, or an 11-year-old, or a 12-year-old? Obviously not traveling around the world necessarily, but just creating cool opportunities that you guys aren't going to forget. Our alumni in college, we had a unique year in that we had guys selected in the draft, which is every year, but we had guys had a lot of success in the last year, our alumni. We had over 69 tournament wins, so you guys know from being on the tournament circuit, it's hard to win a darn game, more or less a tournament. We had 69 last year to add to hundreds of tournament titles that we've had over years. Again, unique, interesting for you guys, just so you know that there's a lot of experience that we're bringing to you guys. The 18U show was our most successful team. This is interesting. We had 50 plus college coaches attend the showcases and tryouts that we did. So just our events, not including sending guys out, but just the events that we created, we brought in over 50 college coaches representing over 30 different colleges. Again, not super relevant for 9 and 10-year-olds, but it at least shows like, okay, they have a system from bottom to top. So this brings us to more relevant things for you guys. Player placement, the player placement process. So First of all, the current teams that we have committed to throughout the fall will practice and play throughout the month of January. So not much changes in January. We kind of go with the current phase that we already had. The only difference is we lose fields, so we improvise in terms of practices, which is another topic we can get to later. There's going to be a tryout/evaluation on MLK Monday, January 20th. This is like the red lights are flashing, and this is the piece that we need to know. So the MLK Day, which is January 20th, will start to initiate the new phase. Actually, this meeting initiates the new phase. So even though we're continuing in January with what we already committed to, my job, not as coach of your teams, but my job as CEO and planner of the organization is, even though teams are currently going, I plan for what's next. So I always need to stay a step ahead, which is why we have meetings. So now that we have the meetings, and then we get you guys gathered in to see who exactly is trying out and who is committed to the next process. The first step of that is giving you guys the information, and that's what we're doing today. Location of the eval day is Sycamore Valley Park. It's at 11 to 1 o'clock. You don't have to remember any of this. There will not be a cost for those who are currently in Head First. For those that are not in Head First, then there is a cost. And the evaluation tryout, it's a baseball appropriate, clean way. Like all through your careers, you end up doing evals and tryouts for relative to placement. So this is just another one of those. It also gives a chance for new people. New people inquire a lot about the organization and what's going on, particularly as we head into baseball season. So you guys have been very progressive of doing a lot of this baseball stuff in the fall, winter, where other people have put all of their stuff away. They're starting to get it out again, getting ready for Little League. So this becomes a time for other people who are interested on this timing to be able to attend the trials. This eval day is only for those who are planning on playing in the spring. So for people who are aspiring to play spring baseball and play and or train for the spring programs, then the tryout is for you. The spring placements will be for the rookies and for the gamers programs. Which begs the question, what are the rookies and the gamers programs? In the past in this group, we've taken baby steps with this group, and it's grown to be something very successful in a short amount of time. We started with groups that were kind of called Head First in the show. Then we called it the Rookies Program, which it still is the Rookies Program, but it's kind of graduating into what's called the Gamers. The Gamers being tournament teams. The Rookies being a training program. So the Rookies and the Gamers are going to operate during the spring. The spring is February, March, April, and May. So it's just defining terms. When we talk about spring, and people go, well, is that just the month of April? Is it April, May? It's February, March, April, May, not including summer, which would be June, July. There may be a summer option, but the current plan is to leave summer for Little League All-Stars, family travel, and all the rest that goes. So we can address, there are certain questions that people individually might have, like, well, Coach, or Mario, we plan on doing Little League, but not doing All-Stars. Or we kind of fringe want to do Little League, but we want to do it just enough to make All-Stars. Or we don't want to do Little League or All-Stars altogether. So each person has their own thing based on what Little League you're in, the role of is dad coaching or not, who's running the All-Star team. Like, there's a lot of variables that if you guys don't know yet are going to come up. We will have an answer and a placement for all of them. And it's also depends on the talent level, age, and all the rest of your sons. The summer is going to feature training options. So again, we're going to talk about the spring in a moment. For summer, it will feature training options, which are private lessons, and also summer camps. There's also, during the summer, we have our trials for the next phase, which is fall. The rookies are going to train on, so the rookies program will train on 3 of the 4 Sundays per month. So the question was asked earlier about which day of the week. What we're trying to do is stay off of days that could conflict with Little League. Sunday has typically been the most successful day, so the rookies are going to be on Sundays. They're going to be on 3 of the 4 Sundays per month, and that will be at 5:30. The rookies program carries a lower cost because there's not tournaments included. So for some folks who are really dialing into Little League, don't miss anything in Little League, or if cost is an issue. For all of the above, multiple kids, it's hard to go to tournaments, we can't spend the whole day out there, all of that, then the rookies is probably a better suit. The Gamers program, by contrast, is going to be trained once a week on Mondays at 4:30. So that is kind of in the strand of a tournament team. So they practice on a weekday, not on weekends, but because they're also going to have 1 tournament per month. So there could be option for more than 1 tournament per month. but the current plan, like, again, the distinction, rookies on Sundays, training only, not including tournaments. If rookies were selected to play on a tournament team as needed, then they just pay the extra cost, and it comes out to be roughly the same. Gamers, by contrast, are going to practice on Mondays. By the way, Mondays is typically a day that Little League is there's not much Little League going on Mondays, which is, again, why we chose Sundays and Mondays at your age. The team and coach details. The rookies program is going to be run, or I should say spearheaded, by Jimmy Moyle. So Jimmy and his staff are going to spearhead the rookies program. The Gamers Black, we're calling them Gamers Black and Gamers Cardinal, just so there's some distinction. Gamers Black is going to also be run by Jimmy Moyle. Some of his background includes playing in college at these many different colleges, USF, UC Davis, San Jose State, coaching at these different levels. Art U, Lewis and Clark, Willamette. He has played and coached at a lot of different colleges. He's definitely more than capable. There's probably not an equivalent at 9, 10, or 11, 12, 13, 14, or all the way through high school that you'll have in terms of a coach with his qualifications. Gamers Cardinal, so again, this is who's Jimmy is spearheading rookies along with his staff. Jimmy is also running the Gamers Black along with the staff of that he brings with him. I'm going to be running the Gamers Cardinal. Again, Tom DiGirolamo, who's here with us and who's been running it, we've been both running it. He is not able to go all in for the spring, so he becomes part of the staff that we hire to help to run this. I'm running the Gamers Cardinal. I've played Stanford, played professionally, coached at Stanford. Again, the lineup of coaches that you have at 9 and 10U, you may not have again until, never, until you get to college baseball. So just want to let you know about the opportunity of playing with this group. Black and Cardinal can have flexibility as a 9 or 10U. So somebody asked earlier, is it going to be a 9 or is it going to be 10? Something I like about tightening up the whole model and then having the flexibility of going 9, 10U is it gives us a chance to have a glimpse of what it'll look like going forward. Going into next fall, there will be distinct groups of, there will be a 10U and an 11U. You guys will be a year older. So this gives us a chance to get a pulse of what that looks like while also being able to work with different age groups. So again, to recap, there's rookies and there's 2 different gamers groups. These gamers groups will be working out together, so it's very similar to what it currently is. It's just that the rookies are going to be on a different day now than the gamers groups. The finance for this young group, we're shifting. By the way, some of these slides I received from other people in the organization. My brother is finance, so I don't deal with the finance at all. So this is a slide that he passed on to me. We're using something called Kirikubby, which is used by a lot of schools, childcare businesses. It allows you to manage your own account. You can register that way. You can go through your bank or credit card. So again, my brother will end up sending out information about Kirikubby. The actual cost, the rookies program, it's $400 for the program, which comes out to be about $100 per month if it's broken down by month, since it's 4 months during the season. Also, there's going to be, this doesn't include there's some cost of Kirikubby, so it doesn't include that cost. So it's a little more than $400 because of the Kirikubby cost. The Gamers program is $800, which comes out to be about $200 a month. Again, this is including the tournaments. Team pages. This comes from George. So George manages team pages. Just it's worth sharing with you guys that the information that goes in your team pages, which is on the website, you just, instead of trying to find stuff that's relevant to your group, you click to your specific team page, which will have the uniform needs that you would get from George, what you would get from West Coast, your practice schedule, your event schedule, coach's contact information. The majority of our teams, and you guys included as you get older, you have 2 practices per week, 2 tournaments per month. So this becomes more relevant because it's harder to, there's more included. It's more involved to figure out which days of the week, what times are those days, if there are any changes, it goes here, and what the tournament schedule is for the next several months. When you have 1 practice per week and 1 tournament a month, it becomes it's pretty easy to remember. You don't have to refer to this as much. Still, the information will live here. It's important to mention the BBF banquet. Again, within Head First, we have a lot of things going on, so this gives a chance to share with you guys. we're having the 5th annual Berkovich Baseball Foundation Banquet coming up on February 7th. And the BBF doesn't have to do with any of the Berkovich teams. It has to do with the original Berkovich family, which beginning in 1927 through 1992 provided a way for a lot of people with hardship, particularly in the inner city in Oakland, which is where it originated, to be able to play baseball. Originally disenfranchised African American and Jewish players who couldn't otherwise play. The family provided ways for them to play, and it lasted and became a legacy of its own. We created a nonprofit several years ago. The banquet and fundraiser is our chief way of raising funds for those with hardship. The event this year is going to be at the Black Hawk Auto Museum, which I think I went to one time a long time ago. I'm super fired up just to go to the Black Hawk Auto Museum, even more so that we're going to have an event there. We'd love to see you guys as guests. Also, we are always, the committee is always looking for donations, raffle items. If you know of somebody, or if you have, or blessed with a cabin, vacation home, timeshare, or anything else that's creative, then definitely let us know. And then that goes into the auction, silent auction at the event. One guy a couple of years ago, for example, we would have never known to be able to ask for this, but he was like, Mario, would you like, or do you think that the group would like to a yacht in Monterey, where it includes meals for 6 and driving around the Monterey Bay? And I was like, absolutely. He was in the Coast Guard. He had access to a yacht, and like he wanted to personally drive the group around. So again, there's odd stuff that if you guys know people, or if you have access to any of this, then this is definitely a good cause to go to. Tickets are on sale through the BBF website. The last slide here, what's next for you guys? So this is kind of recap, and then we're going to turn off the camera and go to questions and answers. Number 1, you would RSVP for MLK. Actually, pre-number 1 is you would understand what the spring looks like for the rookies and the gamers. Then number 2, you would say, yes, I definitely want to do that. If you don't want to do that, then that's easy. You don't follow any of this. If you do, then you RSVP for MLK Day evaluation tryout. Next, you attend. That way we know exactly who's coming so we can plan for it. You attend that, you receive your placement for the spring, and then you commit to your spring, and then you go through the spring, either on Sundays in the rookies program, Mondays for the gamers program, including a tournament per month. Either way, we want you to know that the next phase after that, so that's for spring. Summer, we don't know yet. The current plan is not to have a summer program by team, but to phase into either private instruction or into summer camps. But summer is also when we have tryouts for the fall. So during the summer, we have tryouts for the fall tournament teams. That's a larger step in the direction of you guys becoming a travel ball or tournament player, which we have flirted with the concept. Again, 1 practice a week or 2 practices a week, 1 tournament a month. You got a taste of it. As you can see, to be competitive on the tournament circuit, it's not enough. You need to play more baseball, which ends up having more commitment. Not to say you don't commit to other things, but that's what happens in baseball. Baseball really doesn't care a whole lot for your soccer, rugby, swimming, football, flag football, volleyball. It doesn't really care about all that. Baseball just cares about baseball. So for us, we do care about it because we know you guys personally. We want to give you something that is manageable. But as we go forward, for you to understand, 2 practices a week, 2 tournaments a month. There's options to do less within that, but that's what we end up trying out for, and that's what we're going to have. We'll have 2 practice a week, 2 tournaments a month, and then the teams in the fall are going to be at the 10U and 11U levels. Again, right now, we have pure 10U teams. Part of the reason is there's not a lot of 9U tournaments. Even in the month of January, we're not playing the first 2 weekends at all, partly because there's no tournaments that are offering 10U. So because of the time of the year, and also as you're younger, there's not as many tournaments offered. At this point, for the 10U and 11U going into next fall though, then we have distinctive teams. So we use this spring to take steps in that direction, get you guys more exposed to travel baseball, get more people in and on the teams, and then throughout the Little League phase, you guys share about your experiences that you've been having so far with travel baseball, and people become more and more interested in it, and then we direct them to tryouts, including you guys, and then that helps us to set up. The goal would be multiple teams next year at 10U and 11U, which probably would be 2 different 10U teams and 2 different 11U teams. Okay, I'm gonna turn this off and we're gonna go to questions.